I would spend hours and hours and hours just taking polishes, Maguires and different products, and those years it was Rally Shine, wax and tires, and I'd polish my Uno, I had an Uno, and my old man had a 325 IS next to me. We had upgraded now. And then my brother had an M3, E36 M3, and I also had an Opel Astra with sound, and we would all polish it outside as a family. And we did that for years until so let's just go into my childhood. Me as a young boy growing up, stealing my dad's car. Let's start there. I mean, I think that's where it started from. Yeah, and then trying to bring it back home when I smashed it. Like totally drove it onto the side of the wall. My mom was sleeping and my dad was at work, and they left the keys, and I thought I could take this thing, and I started the Golf 1 with a Mark 1, and I started the Mark 1 4-speed, and I managed to reverse it out of the yard, and then I actually got it into the section where I was rolling it back into the yard after I'd stolen it. I did my rounds with my friends, and I didn't know how to drive. And I couldn't manage the turn, and I actually bumped the car into the wall. I knocked out both the doors, both the left doors, totally up, fender, door. And my old man, I was dreading when he would come home because I was scared, what would he do? And my dad came home and he didn't do anything. He said, it's fine. I think it was a boy fatherhood type of thing. And I always looked at the damage on that car and I said, hey, I need to like fix this. And I wish I could, but I was too young, like 14. So my dad fixed the car. And it got deeper because we had bought some sound for the car. And I would sit every night as a 14, 15-year-old boy. And I don't know if all boys did this. We would connect our hi-fi speakers from the house into the car because we didn't have sound. So I would connect it in there and just sit in it and play cassettes one after another. And I would listen to every song. And I would actually sit till 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock running his battery dead, in that Mark 1, just listening to it. And then we upgraded to a 325i. My old man bought a nice, beautiful 89 325i chrome bumper. And it had these blue leather seats from a 5 Series with these armrests like an aeroplane. And I would sit in and like this and think, hey, imagine driving this Kushesh, I didn't know it was a Kushesh, but that thing was building in me. I didn't realize that all this was becoming me. And I would play the music and just reminisce about how this car was. And it started up, and I would start it up and I would wait for him to go, because the only way to get a car was to steal a car, from the house behind your dad's back, because he wasn't going to give you the keys. And I would take it and just rev it up the road. And a 325 had such a unique sound. You change it to second gear, red line it, change it to third gear. So that was my childhood of learning about driving, passion for cars, and the love for cars. And every Saturday, my mom would cook. This is so deep because I lost my family at a very young age, because I got memories of my mother and she would cook a beautiful pot of curry on a Saturday morning when I'd wake up as a young boy, knowing that when I go outside it's about polishing my car, and knowing that I'm coming to eat mom's food and dad would be happy. And I would spend hours and hours and hours just taking polishes, Maguires and different products, and those years it was Rally Shine, wax and tires, and I'd polish my Uno, I had an Uno, and my old man had a 325 IS next to me. We had upgraded now. And then my brother had an M3, E36 M3, and I also had an Opel Astra with sound, and we would all polish it outside as a family. And we did that for years until divorce. Gone. No cars, no mom, no food. So that was family for me. It was also knowing that I lost my family, I lost my own man, I lost everything as a young kid. I decided to get married at a young age, start my own family, buy my own car, build my own house. and never leave my wife or my children destitute. I never thought that it all connects. I never saw this connecting. Never thought my childhood, my dad, my mom, my family, and this business would even connect until 38 years later. So I think with me knowing that I was always labeled as a dropout, I was always labeled as this person that would never achieve anything. In school, I was the guy that everybody just walked past and said, you know, Warren, yeah, he's just naughty. You know, he's just naughty, he never changed. The teachers just said, yeah, he would never be anything. This guy is just gonna be nothing. My own family, my immediate family, my own family, like to a point, some of them took me in and some of them closed the doors. To the point that my early parts of my marriage was tough. It was rebellious. I was rebellious. And I wasn't the best of guys. I'm not going to blame everybody else for my upbringing and for the way I behave in my choices. And I think that connects me in a way because I can see how this keeps me being a better person. Because I think that was the end goal, that everybody wanted me to be something. Your father would always want you to be something instead of being always bailing you out. Your mother would want you to be something instead of always crying for her son. Your wife would always want something instead of worrying, where's her husband? What is he so doing? Is he going to stop his ways? Is he going to change his ways? And this vehicle and cars and washing and cleaning and polishing connected me. It centered me. You know, near life death experiences that I've been through. So I think that's what I mean by the value of connection. Is that I never seen this cycle actually unfolding to the point that all I wanted was, I never wanted to prove anybody anything, or I didn't want to acknowledge it. No, I just wanted to be normal, to be a guy that actually, when people look at me, they know my past, they know my history, they know where I've come from, the person I was to the person I am today. I just wanted to be understood. And I think I'm doing it through cars. I'm a big dreamer. I'm a big guy. BigBite was taking a big bite out of the market. When I opened up a digital company in 2012, I always wanted to be big and bold. I have a big and a bold personality. To be something to the best of my ability. And that's what BigBite is. BigBite is take a big bite out of everything. Everything I do, it must be big. And in essence, it must be great. It might be mediocre to say big bite, and I believe the brand. I became Mr BigBite because I just walked and spoke and ate and lived my brand. To the point that today, everybody knows me, or I believe that, yes, I am Mr BigBite. Who is that guy? That's the guy that, when I read my comments, I think that's the only way to ascertain what people think of you. So when I read passion, well done, deserved, so maybe they follow my journey, congratulations, keep it up, thank you for inspiring me. Oh, Warren, I started my car the other day because I watched your video. I had a criminal come into my shop a day. He said, I gave my life to the Lord because I watched what you've done. So it's radical things that what BigBite is. BigBite is more it's a service. It's an extension of my heart and my gratitude, because that's what I really think I am built for. I don't know what God has selected me for. I don't know why He brought me back from the dead entirely, but I do know that I got to honor Him, serve and respect in the best way that I can to the community. So that part of me has died. I put it to rest. because it wasn't good. My journey to becoming who I am today and what I'm going to be has been very insightful because I live with dark memories. Those very close to me, that really know me, that spend time, would respect my transition. But I come from a very flamboyant background. I laugh about it because I don't know if there's anybody right now that's been through a severe drug addiction, alcohol addiction, cigarette addiction, anger addiction, gambling addiction. There's nothing that I haven't done. I'm not proud of it. There's nothing place that I haven't walked in or seen or pulled myself out of. I questioned God many times, and I questioned Him on the ICU bed. That I know You helped me hold the steering wheel when I was at when I couldn't even understand. I was in a drunken stupor, driving 320 k's an hour with a 400 kilowatt vehicle that could have minced my body into 4 million pieces had I smashed a car. That today people ask me, fun out of comments, why don't you race? Why don't you take your cars out? Why don't you? They don't understand that those connections to racing, to events, to functions and parties were not very memorable and good memories that I had. I had quite a nasty past, which I was not proud of. That no respect for the basic things, and coming out of those things to becoming the man I am. Because if that's all I knew as a child, or to my 20s, coming to my early 30s, knowing that that there was no risks, there was no barriers. I had no risk and barrier in my life. And it's detrimental to yourself. To know that you can do anything you want. I mean, if I wanted to jump now at 4 in the morning and drive to Durban at 280 k's an hour, I'll do it. What did it get me? What did it give my family? What did it give my peace of mind? What did it do to me? Knowing that I had no limits and boundaries, that I would test everything and try everything. And coming out of the first addictions as a young child, 18, 19, 20, 21, having left a massive drug addiction, both with my brother and I. He actually left me, abandoned me. The chap ran away. At the age of 21, he just decided to leave home. So he left me stuck there, and I was like, hey, what's going on here? Trying to overcome that addiction, trying to be a school kid, trying to go to university and dealing with a divorced case parents, and trying to give up alcohol and all the temptations that the world is giving you, and all of that, and trying to get married. No, I don't know what was going on. And that change as a man happened, is my only driving factor today. So if I just sum it up, I've tried everything, but my living goal now of transition is my daughter's looking at me knowing when they're probably 18 years old or 16, I don't want my daughter to point at me and say, yeah, I saw my daddy lying on the floor the other day. Or he hit mommy. Or he's, my dad is just, can we loan him $500? Because he doesn't have. I look at my kids as a reflection of me. I want them to be proud of me, even if I don't have anything. But I must have dignity. I must be something. I must be centered. So when I go home, when I teach them to pray, when I hold my wife's hand, when I'm proud, when I walk in a mall, when people look at me, they can't say, hey, I saw Warren here today, but then last week I saw him there. And then 2 weeks later, I saw him here. And that, for me, is the biggest transition, is can I become a better man? A better husband, a better employer, a better car builder? Is that not my fundamental? Because on that ICU bed, it was deep, Warren. There was nothing. There was no clothes. There was no Fabiani. There was no 325. There was no M3. There was no credit card, wallet, nothing. They gave me a gown. They gave me a gown and they wheeled me in. They wheeled me in and she told me, say goodbye to your family. And the door closed and then my wife walked out and it was COVID. It was the first peak of COVID. And that was it. No family, no friends, no nothing. You don't see anything. Once the doors closed, it was all plastic, all covers, all gloves, all injections, all needles, everything. And that was my life. That's what I thought. And then you only realize, hey, is this what it is? And the day I walked out and I came out and you never saw sunlight, I never saw what water or what real rain felt like. It was raining. It was raining and I was like a kid, like a child. When I got out of the hospital, my wife wheeled me out of the chair and I looked up and I didn't even look at my car. Yet I missed the M3 so much. But I looked at the rain. I looked at the clouds. When I came home, the first thing I did was I went and I felt the leaves of the tree. And I said, this is what we walk past every day and we don't give it any acknowledgement that this is the earth, this is the things that are the fresh air. And so I managed to straddle myself up the stairs. They all carried me and they put me on a chair. But then the water kicked in, the real water kicked in. Not even 1 month later, I was like, when can I go start the car? When can I go and start my car? All I wanted to was hear that 4-pipe M3 start. I needed to hear it because I swear to you, I had a fight with my wife and I said, please can I take the keys with the oxygen tank, and I dragged the oxygen tank all the way down to the garage. I opened up the garage door and I opened the door and I sat in and I said, Lord, thank you. And I pressed that button and that adrenaline just all came back to me. And from there I started Car Talk. I'm Warren, aka Mr BigBite. Yep, I'm the owner of BigBite Performance. Bringing something different to you guys. This is more a reality show. This is more relevant towards cars and the automotive industry. But something about us, being personal, learning about what we do on a daily basis and how we bring value and smiles to customers' faces. There was always the hunt to own a rare car. But nobody had the funds. I didn't have the funds to find a rare car. So I started with a 318 in my backyard, driving car. And I learned how this feels. Okay, building M3, I built a 320i before, I built a couple cars before. I built a Fiesta ST with my family. We had entered a couple of car shows, built an Astra, built an Uno, had a Superboss, GSI, right, done, leave that. Even a 320D Sport Navara with 22-inch rims, I also had that as well. Then I moved on to what a real car is. A car that doesn't have electronics, simple. 318 box shaped E30. Just needed wheels, rims, and I sat outside every night. My wife would tell you, under the car, trying to fit the steering rack, trying to fix things, and that's when I pieced the story together. And I built that car, and I moved on to my next car. I got outsourced partners, people to come and help me to build the car. We had built it and we had sold it. Took that, found another car, built that car, sold it. Finally, checking on my phone, boom, super rare car. I'm like, what? While I'm building the 325i box, black one, at the panel shop, I go and I see this one. And when we get there, it did not look nice. It really was hectic. My cousin and I got there early in the morning. We looked at this car and we're like, cute. And he's like, the only thing that tickled our fancy, 325i sunroof, MEX, upside down tag, matching engine, matching body, matching window. We saw something, we saw the vision. So the journey there was tough because it was not looking, we couldn't even wheel the car. We couldn't even push it from here onto the trailer because everything was broken. The whole suspension wasn't even working. So we had to bump it, like 6 guys to push the car. And we bumped it. And as I was bumping this car, bumped it, I was saying, Brennan, is this what we're gonna do? Are we gonna like build this car? I don't know what to do here. This car doesn't even look like a car. And he's like, we got this. We're gonna make this. And I'm like, no, man. Put it on the trailer and start trailing the car. All the way to Joburg. I see it on the highway and it starts coming in. We pump it off the truck next to our black 55 that we were building for German bus Jack. And that event was due in about 2 weeks. And I bought this car 2 weeks before that. And we had dropped it and we had parked it off there. And I just looked, it had a big hole in the window, big hole in the door. Engine was lying all over. It just looked hideous. But we put 3 days went on. And Brandon put a battery. And he put the positive and negative. And he said, come here. And I said, what? And he put the ignition on. He said, check. All the lights are coming on. Indicators coming on. Left is, there's no engine, there's nothing. He said, there's hope here. There's hope here. Check this out. We switch it up. After that day, boom, there was a spark. Just blew up here. And then I just started sourcing. Scrap here after scrap here. Nigel, Trippy, Vereniging, Val. I was driving every day. But Pretoria, Brits, name it, buying parts everywhere. Here, Mayfair, Fordsburg. Scrap here after scrap here. The journey just blew. Context, BMW, Santon, Car Candy, name it. People just said, and the pile was just collecting at my house. All the parts were just collecting. Till I had a bunch of things. And I was like, right, are we ready? Are we ready now? Everything is a representation of me. In fact, yes, it's a representation of my vision, more of my dream. Because when the team was building this car, before we even started building it, we had first, I spoke to the team. I closed my eyes and I said, can you see a Ferrari red car? Can you see a Ferrari wheel? I can see Alcantara. And Brandon stood next to me and he was like, I can see it. No, that's not the wheel. No changes. Then I said, no, Eagle deep test. He said, no, that's the one. 10J. Then I said, I can see air suspension. I won't lie to you. We sat literally 1 year ago and he went home and he drew it. Here's my other half of my hand, because I dream, he builds. I dream, he builds. And then together we refine. So I see myself as an engineer, as a refiner. I see myself as a forward thinker. Brandon is the builder. He's a fabricator. He's a very skilled person. He's an engineer as well, with his hands and his mind. And then it comes together and we refine it. So it took us about less than, let's try and timeline this. Car was purchased, right? And then it sat. Then it went into panel beating. It went into fabrication, basic fabrication, part sourcing. Took about two to 3 months. Then the cars got assembled, but quick assembled because we had just opened the shop. So we just assembled it and we brought it here. We drove it with no seats, nothing, no interior, no dashboard, just a steering wheel, and it was just painted. Engine was built, 2 to 3 months, and parked it in the back. Threw a sale on it, continued. So piecemeal. Then left it for about 2 months. After 2 months came Jan this year, 2023. We said, no, let's put this car together. Jan, Feb, March, 3 months into it. So that's 3 plus 3, that's 6 months. Put everything together. Took the car to do the 1000K run, to run the car in. Started getting all the accessories, the seats, the Alcantara interior, wheels, air suspension got tested, fitted. Parked it off again for another 2 months. And just literally, I'm not joking, 2 months before German vs. Jap, we closed the shop down strategically to complete this car. We spent 10 weeks solid, 8 in the morning, 11 at night. Brandon and I mostly 2 to 3 in the morning. We went excessive nights where we went like 2 to 3, where the tears like were coming out of our eyes. We were so tired that we couldn't even focus the next day. We had pushed our bodies to extreme, through illness, sickness, winter, cold, freezing, we pushed it. And my team pushed with me till 10, 11, some of them till 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock in the morning, just to make sure this car was put together to the best spec. Rockford Fastgate sound system, end-to-end, wired, custom, molded, fiberglass, interior, Alcantara, sides, skirts, name it. Completed custom front, making sure all the lines are right, the rubbers are right, the wheels, electronics, the indicators, the fogs, the backlights all work. Beadings, original beadings, sprayed, touched, fitted in. Sunroof, original BMW German sunroof. Weather guards, imported from Germany, put the weather guards in there. Center console, all the buttons, original buttons from BMW. All the door pins, original BMW door pins. The heritage badges, the wheels, testing the suspension, the shocks, cutting, fabricating, painting, touch-ups, dents, repainting, motor, test, OEM, management, airflow. Whoa, bro, I can go on and on from every nut and bolt to putting this car together. To today, I can start this car with one start standing out of it. Driving on the highway at 180 km an hour with an air suspension. We've never spun this car. It's never seen a donut since birth, rebirth. Highest form of recognition of South African event, hosting the largest car lovers for German vehicles and Japan vehicles. And a big job, man. German vs Japan was a job. It was the most lit event South Africa has ever seen. That's what it means to me. It was lit. Yes, it was chaos. It was a car show. It was lit. It was awesome. People were having a ball. And people must never understate an event for not doing what it's supposed to do. It brought a whole lot of people together to have fun in a large quantity. It was a madhouse, but in its own appeal. So yeah, it's an achievement because it's 10 years old. Eh? German vs Jap is a 10-year-old thing. So I was 38, I was 28 years old. I'm 38 now, I was 28 when Jap just started. And I couldn't even bring a car. And then year 2, year 3, year 4, year 5 to year 10 edition, finally I get my car. I started at edition 9. I came on 5th place on edition 9. And then 1st place for hottest ride. Voted by the people. Not by me. The people. We are German vs Jap. It's the boy on the stage that looks in the crowd for his father while playing his instrument and sees his father. If anybody could see that, if I have to repeat myself, please tell me. Because it's acknowledgement on the highest form. Being the son, being the child with the instrument, playing on the stage, looking for your parent in the crowd, and your parent's not there, how would you feel? I imagine I saw my father. Not once, 88,000 times on German vs Jap. I was the child playing the guitar on the stage, and every time I looked down, I saw a parent, I saw something. That's what it felt like. Okay, wow, guys, it's an honor. First place, hottest ride at German vs Jap. You guys seen how many cars there were here? This beauty has taken the hottest ride at the entire event, edition 10. That's it, guys. First place. I am humbled on this project by my team, the excessive hours, the hard work, the passion, every single person that came here, every single person that we met today. It's been an absolute honor and a privilege to meet you guys. Thank you for supporting us. Thank you, German vs Jap, for choosing us number 1, not even number 2. From last year, we came up from number 5. To this year, number 1. That means a lot to us, and we just want to say thank you. We love you guys, we appreciate you, and this is the hottest ride of German vs Jap right here, number 1. Can I be real? If this was on a scale for me, then this would be right down there, and the scale weighting is at the roof. And I'm here, and the roof is where I want to be. So achieving this was the first step that I actually see me getting. It's so far from feeling fulfilled to the point of I've arrived in any sense, because there were hundreds of cars far better than mine. That other builds that I saw people build in the last 10 years, 5 years across the world, that I take out of their books, that I wish to be like them, that I myself feel that this was a stepping stone for me. This was the start to my journey of being one day at SEMA, which that will be there. This was one event, one opportunity, one step for mankind, you know? And I look at it as, so it's not my end, it's not my everything. It's not, this didn't change anything in me as a person or my team. It gave us an edge. It gave us a kick to show what we're capable of. It gave us hope to know that a little shop in Mondio based here can go up against the giants, the conglomerates of the world, the big players, and we're just there. So that's what I see it as. I see it as, wow, well done, thank you, you've done good. Okay, how can you become a better painter? How can I become a better fabricator? How can I become a better builder? How can I become a better electrical specialist? How can I become a better motor mechanic? Where to from here? You know, I see all the flaws in us, and I'm not happy about those flaws. Okay, but there's a lot of room for improvement. A lot, bigger than the ocean, in fact. New car, new show. I think it's time that we whip out our own motor show. I think that we've seen German vs. Jap. We've got to appreciate them. I've seen that we've been to all the motor shows in South Africa. We appreciate them. I think that there's dreams such as SEMA, but I think it's time for the BigBite motor show now. That's my vision, my dream, to be an A-class world judge for vehicles on a standard that I'd rather acknowledge others for their builds or what they've done and give them the credit and the feeling that I wish to have, and give people a platform to bring the cars and give them relevant categories for their build, not random categories. Help people achieve their goals all over the world through the most unique, and I think that's it. I smell TV shows, I smell movies, films, I smell car shows, and my own product line. I think that's it. And a new car that we're building. I'm so torn between worlds, whether it's Jap or it's German. I don't know yet, but I'm leaning towards German. I'm a bit biased. You need to have a plan, a very robust plan and a vision before just running at things. It's easy to run, to rush at anything. It's easy. People tend to just buy anything they see or get anything. It's like a popcorn, like a microwave. You just want to put it in the microwave and press 30 seconds and pop. That popcorn must pop and you eat it. And I think that's what I want people to slow down, or those that see and understand that I move at a rapid pace, and maybe that gives people false hope perception because of the pace of the project that I move at. It's because my ability to function and think on a multitude of things is dynamic. You gotta have that skill. You gotta want to try many things at once. Push yourself to an extent that way you can project plan. You can project plan and execute all angles. So don't just think it's so simple to buy a car, put air suspension, drop it, you put mags, and you've done it. No. I think it's far deeper than that. It's the journey. For me, it's the journey. Every single enthusiast, car builder, fan, fabricator, engineer, spray painter, name it. Everything has to have a journey. And a journey gives more meaning to that subject. So if you can build that vision, that plan, that journey, you live it, you eat it, you breathe it, you execute it, it becomes marvelous. It's as if I knew at one stage that it's coward. You know what I'm saying? I could feel it here. You know, you can feel it. We all walked around this car every night, every day. Our hearts were pumping because we were so scared to even drive it out of the driveway because we were scared the lip was going to get scratched. We had to build confidence to drive this car out of this car. It took us very long to just start it and drive it. That's how scared we were, walking around it like it's a precious diamond. But without a project plan and a vision, gone. That's my inspiration. Go, everybody out there, take a pen, take a book, take a pen, take a paper, write it down, write your vision, write your plan, and believe it. Because if you want to speak spiritually and biblically, my wife and I think everybody needs to have an interview with Mrs. and Mr. BigBite. I can show you stuff from 2003 that I wrote in a book. 2003, I wrote there, buy F3320i, brand new car. Buy my first home in 2008. I wrote it down there. You have a child, get married, stop this nonsense that I used to do. Stop that. So I wrote it. 2010 came, 2011 came, 2015 came, I wrote it. And I think that vision, that plan, when you put it, it'll come to fruition. So you have to have that plan and that vision. Stop rushing and running into things and jumping and just buying cars off the internet, country and this and thinking and popularity and people want fame and looking for rims and buying things irrationally. It doesn't get you anywhere. You need support. My pastor taught me this, and I hope everybody listens carefully. In order to succeed, the people must want you to succeed.